For those of you who are all thinking that I'm a terrible mom,
You're mid,
I'm mid.
as our kids would say. I don't
Yeah.
care, really.
Go out on date nights. Oh my gosh, yeah. You get me in a steakhouse, you and I, with a glass of wine. I mean, that's amazing.
Irregardless, they could smell the city on me from a mile away.
You know, I've never really thought about it that way. You know what? This is going to be a judgmental statement.
Literally, the sun was setting and he drove into the sunset. And I was like, I'm gonna start crying.
16 is revolutionary. Like,
We've got a kid driving now.
kid driving. Clearly, I've been talking a lot this week. I'm getting tongue-tied. It is a little helicopter-ish.
That means we got a free Saturday.
I cannot get somebody that fits in the seat next to me. He had major personal hygiene issues. I learned from him that Botox actually stops excessive sweating. Welcome to the Mr. and Mrs. Inglis Podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Shaen. We're here to talk about the wild ride of raising kids, growing careers, and keeping life together in the middle of all the chaos.
So buckle up, because we're all in this crazy journey together.
Well, I'll start off by saying we're back after missing a week. Sorry about that. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit. And mostly just to say how much energy I have and how rested I am is really what I want to talk about.
Really?
How about you?
Oh, I feel the same way. I feel rested, restored,
Yeah.
and ready to go. We're going with the alliteration.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
Yeah,
Alliteration's always one of my favorite when people do that.
I agree.
Ready and rested to go. Wait, ready, rested, and...
Ready to go.
Oh, ready, oh, that's 3.
Yeah,
Nice.
I know.
Well
and
done.
I mean, people believe us, right? Like our acting skills are
Well, I
amazing.
fear we're becoming in danger of becoming a broken record. That we are so busy
I know.
that sometimes we literally did not have time, I guess, to fit in the podcast last weekend.
Correct. Yeah.
Was last weekend we were in Birmingham?
No, that was 2 weekends ago.
Okay.
But last weekend I was in Oklahoma.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I traveled for work both weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in 9 states in 9 days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hence why we didn't get a whole lot of time to sit. We didn't have time to sit in the studio and do this. Maybe we should figure out how to do it on a Zoom. I
I
think
thought about that.
all the good ones do it that way.
I thought about that. Then I could wear my fancy headphones over there.
Yeah, because you have a couple pairs.
Yeah, we got headphones. We're prepared. We are well prepared for this, but not prepared either.
I mean,
because we couldn't do it. First off, I've never done that.
I don't know how to do it either.
And secondly, you still have to fit that in because you're traveling on business, and the tables have turned. I traveled for business for
20 years.
20 years, and I don't miss it at all. First off, secondly, I do know how it is when you get that, 30 minutes from the end of the meeting at 4:45, and everybody's like, "Well, let's go ahead and meet downstairs
Yeah.
at 5:30."
Yeah. And you're like, great, I have time to go to my room, use the restroom, and then I have to be back.
Yeah. If I down at all, let my energy down at all, I'm done.
Done.
So it's like, might as well just keep going through.
I know.
Don't give me an hour off. A couple times they give you an hour on those.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would lay down. Oh, I do not want to get back up.
I
Take
know.
the shoes off,
Oh, yeah, I don't. I do
jacket
not
off.
take.
Oh, you don't take your shoes off.
Mm-mm. That is,
It's one of the keys to it.
well, I don't do this that often. 3 times a year maybe?
Yeah.
But you're right. No, I don't take the shoes off. I don't take the coat off if I'm wearing a suit coat.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how much we've talked about it. I don't know if we've talked about it on this podcast much before, but I mean, you traveled plenty in the last month, more than you usually do. In fact, it kind of affected the household a little bit. Needed mom home. We're just not used to not having mom home.
Right.
And it was tough, but I've always said, you think when you're younger that traveling's so sexy and so much fun and all that. And maybe it's as I'm older, but even then, maybe my first 2 were fun.
It's not fun.
But it's not fun. It's not sexy.
No, there's nothing about it that's fun. You're like, I'm exhausted because I've been in dirty airports and sitting in Ubers, and I mean, it's just a to-do.
Traveling for work is different than traveling for vacation,
Oh, totally.
right? Like when you got to go to the airport and you got to go through security and
Yes.
just kick the table. You got to go through security. You got to go through all that kind of stuff for vacation. It's totally fine. That is no problem at all, right? But when you got to do it for work, for whatever reason, because you have to be on, because you're reading, like I'm sitting in an airport,
Yes.
but they're still expecting me to respond to emails, and this is part of new life because we have our email in our hands.
That's exactly right.
You're on, and so now you're on while you're trying to travel and you're moving.
Yeah.
And then you're planning because you're like, I got to get there, I got to get and then I got to get to the because normally you're never traveling just to get to a hotel. You're traveling to get to the move or to some event.
Yeah,
right?
There's a reason you're traveling, right? It's, again, not to get to that hotel. Like, you have a meeting that you have to go to, a customer call, whatever it happens to be, whatever line of work you're in.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're traveling to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's likely time-bound.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, it's just way more stressful, I think.
Yeah.
Than it is because people are like, oh, I don't find traveling stressful. Well, anything other than work is not that stressful, really.
No.
I don't find it to be, but it is exhausting to travel for work for whatever reason. I did it for 20 years. You've been doing it, pretty consistently, just not nearly as much.
Right.
I
I kind of say I would average, 3 to 4 times a year over the last 5 years.
Yeah, but yours is a little bit more sexy than mine. I always say mine wasn't sexy, so I might not be the norm for people that travel a lot for business, but because I was in agribusiness, I financed large food and agribusiness companies. I would travel around to where those areas are located.
Which inherently.
And usually it's not, I wasn't going to downtown. I wasn't ever going to a downtown city. You know what I mean? Unless there was some equity firms and, larger firms, investment firms that we would go to.
Right.
I had a couple in New York City and some in LA.
Yeah.
So I did get some of those ones. They're kind of fun, but even then it was exhausting. It was so late in my career.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, we got to go to the big dinner.
Yes.
And big dinners are fun.
They are.
But they're exhausting, especially for an introvert.
I totally agree. And I am an extrovert, but even I find it exhausting after a certain amount of time. It's just like, okay, I'm done,
Yeah.
And it's in business dinners. Well, you would go on really fancy dinners. I would say you'll be like, I have to go to another steakhouse.
Because I would normally be meeting with investors, bankers, or business owners.
Yes.
To talk about a deal that was in the works of some sort, or a client, but same menu of people.
Right.
Whereas you're usually meeting with people within your own company.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. I'd be terrible in front of a customer. But, I mean, you would have these nice dinners and whatever, but it's different. Like when we go out on date nights, oh my gosh, yeah, you get me in a steakhouse, you and I with a glass of wine. I mean, that's amazing. That's actually ideal. I look forward to that. But when you're in a business setting, whether it's with a client or whether it's even in your own company, it's not like you're just talking, right? You're strategic about what you're saying and, how to frame conversations and if I use this anecdote, what does that say about me? And,
right.
So you're
constantly,
or how can I angle to get to this conversation, or this point or whatever. It is hard.
That's constantly where I was because later in my career, I was a manager of bankers, right? And so I was constantly flipping ahead of the conversation to be like, all right, we need to get this conversation to this point because we need to get on this topic. We need to ask them about this. We got to get here. I need to set him up for this.
Yeah.
Or, I need to dive a little bit deeper into that, and then also you don't want to open Pandora's box, be like, oh, did I say that wrong? Was I incorrect about that?
Right.
There's just so much mental gymnastics going on at those dinner tables.
Yes.
Now, granted, it was a great steak and great wine for me at those tables.
Right.
But always, that was actually the easy part as a banker for me as an introvert too, right?
Really?
Is talking that way. The hard part was when people would sit down and want to just chit chat.
Yeah.
A little bit more personal.
Yeah.
And I got better at that. But because it was agribusiness, a lot of the people, even on, I didn't do production ag, right?
Right.
That was kind of smaller loans, and we would do loans like, you know, the smallest loan we would do was generally like 20 million, something like that, and then we would do syndicated deals up to like 2 billion, right? So we would do loans that are 50 million or, you know, 100 million, whatever it is, like that. So fairly sophisticated business people, right? They're business savvy.
Yeah.
You know, they're smart. Most of these people are well educated. But a lot of them came from ag at some point in their life. Like some of them grew up on a farm or grew up doing this. That's why they went into that.
Sure.
Right? Or some of them have been in it their whole lives with their family farm, but their parents made them go to school.
Right.
So I would be speaking, you know, so a lot of these guys they've been in ag. So anybody that's been in agriculture, and a lot of the bankers that I worked with and that I hired, whatnot, they grew up on a farm too somehow, but went to school, you know, and they've got masters, whatever it might be. Very educated, but a lot of them have that ag background, which I never came from. And no matter how long I was in it, I knew the industries very well. I could speak to it. I could speak to the bank side. So, you know, I had my credibility there.
Yeah.
But irregardless, they could smell the city on me from a mile away, right? They could just, and I wasn't I'm not one of these sexy, like, Manhattan.
Yeah, you're not the Wall Street banker.
Wall Street banker.
Right?
No, not at all. Not at all. I could never have survived in that world because that's just not my personality.
No.
But when I'm sitting there at a table and you want to talk about, you know, like all they know is like being on the farm or being in the, you know, talking about commodities or, oh, what about the acidity of what was the pH balance of that soil? Not that we ever, like, again, I never did farmers, right? That was kind of smaller, more granular, you know, loans. I never did production lending.
Right.
But irregardless, I kind of always got back to, you know, the basics like that sometimes.
Right.
Talking about different kinds of cattle. Like, we did a lot of cattle loans.
Yeah.
And I was not a cattle guy. Great cattle lenders on my team.
Yeah.
Right? That could run with it. And that was always the one I always felt so bad about.
Really?
So I'm like, I just can't add a lot of value talking about cattle.
Yeah.
I don't care, really. I mean, it's a fascinating industry, fascinating, great people and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't grow up in it.
Yeah.
So I'm just not passionate about that. And that's partially why I got out of it and doing what I'm doing now.
Absolutely.
Right.
Get into something that you do love.
Right.
You know?
So long story short, yeah, I did. I had some great dinners, but it was always tough when they wanted to talk, not shop. I'd rather talk shop all night long because I can talk shop.
Right.
What I can't do, it's very difficult for an introvert to try to find common ground from someone who just has more of that ag background. And they, you know, like they're wearing boots with their suits.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So still true ag underneath a tie.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
You know?
You can dress up the cowboy boots, but
there was a time
they're still there.
I have a pair of, not boots, because I could never wear boots, but I have a pair that kind of look like boots underneath jeans, right? And I wore them one time, and someone laughed at me because there's not a scuff on them, right? And I'm like, I realized I actually tried to scuff them up a little bit before I got out of the car, kicked them, put some dirt on them, because they look so green.
Oh my gosh.
But that's where it is. Like, you could smell the city on me.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't. It's hard to then find that common background when you're like, you were raised on a farm. I was raised in the suburbs. Like, there is a difference. And I come from a family of farmers. Like, you know, I think about my mom's cousins and things like that. They literally live on a farm. And I'm like, oh, I have nothing. I don't understand.
Right, because you did not. You grew up farm adjacent with family at a farm, but not your nucleus family didn't grow up in a farm.
No, gosh,
so,
no.
Yeah. So it's just a different life.
It is.
And once you get to that level, it's not like, I would much rather talk about, you want to talk about your kids? How are your kids doing? I can talk about that all day long.
You talk about that, yeah.
But it always went to just ag. You know what I mean? Like, do you want to talk about the economy, like how it's affecting the economy, or these tariffs are affecting, you know, our trade? Like, let's talk about that. Shop, you know?
Right.
But I cannot talk about, you know, just how healthy that cow looked. I can't tell you what, I can tell you what a healthy cow looks. I learned it over time, you know what I mean? But
I couldn't tell you a healthy cow.
anyways, that was too long of all that'll get cut. But, yeah, dinners are good. But you don't go to so you don't get those nice steak dinners when you're out with your company? Even like you're at a leadership one this time, which is very high up people. They didn't pull out at least the
we had a really
semi-red carpet?
I think part of it is because I'm not having those intimate dinners with just a handful of people. Usually, if I'm traveling, it's with a group of 20 or 25, and or more, right? Like that's probably the least amount of people.
Yeah, and that's a $6,000.
And so you're like, no, you're
dinner
eating
at
at
a
a,
steak.
yeah. So you don't do that.
So you're going to
right?
get Mexican.
Exactly, right? Or I would say they do a great job
Barbecue.
of if you're, something that's maybe local fare or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, because I mean, you'd probably be going with what, maybe 5 people total?
Yeah, at most it'd be like 10, 12 at the very most.
Yeah.
But generally it's more intimate. It'd be 5 of us or
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
And I rarely, I don't even remember the last time it was less than 10.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Yeah.
I am sure at the higher levels that those nice steak dinners happen.
So when it's only 5 to 10 of us, it's always you're always kind of figuring out your seating a little bit in your head beforehand, right? It's like,
Yeah.
like I know when I was the manager, like I need to sit next to a decision maker, right?
Yeah.
Kind of the guy that's making the decision. So I always make sure, like I wouldn't sit before they sat. I'd kind of maneuver myself, and even the team knows that kind of like I would talk with some of our like teammates. We would kind of have a game plan on kind of who would sit. Make sure you get close to him or her or whatever it might be. How does that work for you?
You just sit wherever you want.
Oh, seriously? You don't have there's nothing behind it? Like, hey, maybe, internal credibility, internal brand?
You know what? This is going to be a judgmental statement. I think maybe at really high up levels, yes, that happens. and
You're going to say
they
you
have
don't like people that do that.
But no, I'm going to say that
Oh.
people who are very much maybe a climber and they really like that vertical.
That's exactly what I
movement.
said. You're not going to like people that do that.
It's not that I
I
don't
said it
like
too
them.
strong.
Yeah, I was like, it's not that I don't like them. I'm just not one of those people.
Yeah. That doesn't
know?
sit right with you.
Right.
Based on your morals and how you want to
Right.
climb the corporate
Right.
ladder.
If I happen to be sitting next to someone who is really high up, obviously that's just fine. It's probably just happened to be where I sat down, or that
no
was the
need to
open
brown
seat.
nose. Yeah.
Right.
Right. You're going to make it on your own. And if they want to sit by you, they'll seek you out.
Right.
Because you got a lot of people probably, I don't want to say it, but I mean, what do you think? Half of the people, how many people that you work with, well, I don't want to put you on a bad spot there, but I think there's enough people that are vying for those seats next to people, important, quote unquote,
Absolutely.
that you're kind of in competition with them.
Probably.
And as the decision maker, they're probably aware of that too, right?
Probably. I would think so. I would think so. And I mean, you do have to think about your corporate brand, and you do. Like, that's all part of your career and managing your own career, right? I'm just someone who would rather do it organically through kind of that day to day, and that's just who I am. That's how I've operated my whole career.
Do you think that sets you back at all to people that do it the other way? Or in the end, it evens out?
I truly believe in the end it evens out.
I like to think that the cream of the crop always rises, right?
Right.
Regardless of if you seek somebody out and you're constantly trying to put yourself in the spotlight.
Right. I really do. I think that really does happen. And I talk a lot about, like, career's a jungle gym. Like, sometimes you're going to the side, sometimes you go backwards, sometimes,
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just, for me and how I manage it, it just has to be organic. Hopefully it's through the daily or, however often I have to interact with somebody in a regular setting.
Yeah.
That's how I actually want it to be.
Yeah.
That's how I want my corporate brand to be. Not like, oh, they sat next to me at a dinner one time and she was impressive. Like,
right. Because then that turns into favoritism and, these kind of things, which, in my old career, that happened all the time. Where it was like, oh, good old buddy, this and that. Oh, he brings that. He gets his raise. He brings his team with him. He brings these people with him. And there were people that were just making their way up the ladder that was like, they should not be making their way up the ladder. Just because they know this guy, or whatever it might have been. Or there would be people that, as you know, are just very good climbers.
oh, yeah.
They put a face forward. And I dealt with credit guys like this a lot. There was one in particular I remember, like, what you see is not even close to what is reality.
Right.
Right?
Right.
He shows you a facade
That's
to
interesting.
his boss and to
Yeah.
the higher ups and all that kind of stuff. And then behind the closed doors, when he's actually doing that, he's not doing what he says he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a good partner. He's not a good teammate. And those people, when they rise and they got showing because they do that, because it's that brown nose, because
The game.
the gamemanship of it, which I get it. There is some of that. You have to be able to play the game to some degree at the higher levels.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
But when you do it to that degree of just it's not authentic.
Yeah. You're just two different people.
Yeah, that drove me crazy when you see someone like that rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know? Or even backed up, not even rewarded, but just
Validated.
Validated, exactly.
Yeah. Because you're like, seriously? You don't see that?
And I know you've had some people through the years.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anybody in particular right now, but through the years, I know you've seen people come and go like that too.
Yeah. Well, and you're bound to see it. And I mean, man, I'm 25 years in corporate America for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, you're bound to see it
Well-
in that amount of time.
Well, and I'm not trying to change the subject here, but it's crazy because we keep talking about it. You know, I was 24 years in banking, almost 25, but 24 years in banking. You're 25 years in finance. I mean, I guess I was in finance too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if banking's different than finance when people think of it from the outside.
From the outside, it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Internally, you're like, they could not be more different
Because again,
industries.
I remember, I think I've talked about it on here before, like I would tell people I was in banking in my family, and like, oh, I think Shaen is a teller at Wells or something like that. And then one time, and then at one point, I think I heard that I was like a mortgage banker, you know, and I was like, no. Neither, totally different.
Not even kind of close.
Yeah, it's like, that's okay though. You know, that was my own thing. It was like, no, that's not it at all. But that's funny. I'm just curious if people think of them as the same thing outside of us.
They do.
But my whole point to that was saying that we've been almost a quarter century in these careers. We don't feel that old. I don't think we should feel that old. And I'm not trying to go down this tangent because we talk about it a lot too here. But we did just pass a milestone this week.
Yes, we did.
We are old enough, which makes sense that we've been in our careers for 25 years,
Yeah.
plus a quarter century. We have a driving child. We have a child that now has a driver's license.
That's insanity
It
to
does
me.
not feel right at all. At all.
At all. Like, it is so wrong. I not that he's old enough to do it. It's just, you still see that little child.
I think of it two ways. I think of him as that little kid. That little boy is how that's number one. Just like you said. I mean, that's what I see, and that's part of what we were talking about. Like, it was tough for you to be gone this week because you were gone when he took his first drive away.
Yeah.
Which I know I wanted to share with you. I'm sure you wanted to share with everybody
Good.
too. And unfortunately, you know, that was one of the few times corporate America has gotten away with something that I know you wished it wouldn't have been that way.
Yeah.
But literally, the sun was setting and he drove into the sunset, and I was like, I'm gonna like start crying, you know, because he's growing up, and that's the other part of it for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's that little boy
Yeah.
that we saw somebody in our house today who's got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, that's kind of still how I see our kids.
Yeah.
You know, that 3 to 6 years old, 3 to 7 years old. I mean, like, in my mind's eye, they're just that precious little innocent kid still.
Yes. Yes. And I don't know when or if that ever changes. Like,
Probably not. I mean, some of the older people that watch, you know, let me know. I'm just curious if that's who you. I mean, I know they're not that age, and I'm impressed and proud of the adults, the young adults they're growing into.
yeah,
But I still see that little boy,
I know.
little boy that I used to pick up and wrestle on the ground with. And
Yeah.
I mean, I used to move him on the carpet with my head. I'd roll him around with my head. You know, we would just like that's who I think of.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But number two is not as sweet, but he's 16. Like I was telling him in the car this week that like, it's just crazy that you're 16 because I remember being 16.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fully, mostly who I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I had a sense of self at that point.
Right.
Now, because of the family life that I had at that time, I was much more in my own world, in my own head.
Yeah.
You know, than he is, and I was, you know, that was all a little bit different there. So I hadn't like flowered, you know,
Right.
at that age. Whereas I think he's got a totally different upbringing to where he's comfortable to be himself and he's open and he's got a good home at the house.
Yeah.
And a good relationship with both of us, you know, that that sense of self is there. And it's crazy because like that's who he is. Like who he is now is gonna be somewhat true to who he is in 20 years.
Yeah.
It's just gonna mature a little bit more.
Sure, it's going to refine and maybe evolve slightly, but I mean, the base of who he is today is who he's going to be in 20 years. And I was actually texting with another mom this week. I was like, it's just all the feelings. Like, I want them to stay babies, but at the same time, like, I'd miss who they're going to become, seeing them become who they're supposed to be. And it is just heartbreaking, but really beautiful. And I mean, it's just every single feeling on the spectrum. Yeah. From like sheer panic of the fact that they're operating a vehicle that you're not a part of right now, to just like utter pride that brings you to tears. Like
100%.
And everything in between.
Yeah, 100%. But along with that age and that maturity that they're, you know, at 16 and whatnot, like the other part that goes with that is that they're aware of the world now. I mean, I was aware of the world. I knew the difference between right and wrong. I knew I knew that there were consequences for my choices. Yeah. You know, it doesn't mean I did everything right, but I'm just saying, my point is like, he's at that point now where he can go out and make decisions. And he's going to have to live by the consequences of those decisions. I know he's still in our house. Right. So we have some level of like providing some guardrails for him still. Yeah. But for the most part, now that he's able just to go and do what he wants, I was telling him, I was like, now this is where all of our parenting comes in. This is where who you are inside will shine. Right. And come through. Right. Right? Because, I mean, I don't know. It's just, that's what's insane to me is like, I just know how aware of the world I was then. The good things in the world, the bad things in the world, you know, the things that I shouldn't be doing in the world, the things that I should be doing in the world. I was aware of all of it. Now, not maybe at a depth. Right. You know, because that, again, there's more education and more refining, like you said, to come. Yeah. But he's there. I mean, and when we still look at him as that 7-year-old, it's crazy because his brain's not a 7-year-old brain anymore. No. Even though at the house, and I know I'm talking too much here, so I'll let you go, but I remember when I was his age, and it was a different situation again, but I was like, you guys think I'm like serious all the time? You guys think I'm mad all the time? But I'm not. I was like, when I leave this house, I actually have friends. Yeah. I laugh. I have a good time. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like I said, we have a different house here, so he laughs and has fun here. He shows his personality here all the time too, which is great. Totally different. But I do know because of that, there's a whole nother side when he's out with his friends though too. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's got a home persona, but he's got an away persona too. Yeah. And that's weird that we don't really know that. We won't know that till he's older. Right. Right. That's, you know, I've never really thought about it that way. Yeah. Because I had a very different upbringing. Clearly, I've been talking a lot this week. I'm getting tongue-tied. But I think I was very much the same at home as I was with my friends. And so I don't know that I ever was different and like, oh, my away persona with my friends versus my home persona with my family. Yeah. Maybe I was a little more talkative because I was really pretty quiet in my house. I'm one of 5 very gregarious children, and I am probably the least gregarious. And so I was probably a little more quiet at home, but at the same time, I was still pretty shy, especially in high school. You've made the comment to me before, too, that you said that I think your whole family thought you were quiet in comparison to a very gregarious family. Yes. They thought you were quiet. And you're like, well, I'm actually not that quiet, but in this household, I'm a mouse. Right. But it's not like I left and I was like, blah, you know, and the life of the party and bubbly and like, it wasn't like that. I was still pretty quiet. Well, we still know those people. And it's easy to say. I'm a 49-year-old man who's managed professionals in banking for 25 years, and I still find it a really hard time to get a word in edgewise.
Yeah.
I mean, it's their world. They're gregarious. They have that family bond where they want to hear from their family members and nobody else.
Right.
And I'm not saying that in a negative way, but I mean, that is hard to break through to.
For sure.
And it even still is for you, because that's just the way it is. That other group of 4 siblings,
Yeah.
really 3 of them, because I think Patrick's a little bit more quiet. He gets into it, but he's a little bit more quiet compared to the other 3.
Yeah.
But I mean, all great people, obviously. But yeah, I totally get it. They're still that way though too. It's really hard to get a word in edgewise.
Yeah. Whereas I think they were probably a little more. Well, I guess not all of them. But they may have been a little different outside of the house. But it's funny how when you go back as a family unit, you fall into those same patterns and like, oh, Megan's the quiet one. And maybe I'm not self-aware enough, but I don't think anyone would meet me outside of my family and be like, oh, she's really quiet.
Yeah, no, that's a whole nother. I don't think you're quiet. I don't think like compared to your sister, I think you're quiet compared to your sister.
Yeah.
She's very gregarious.
Yeah.
But you are outgoing, but you're not outgoing to their levels.
Right.
Like if you were just to insert your normal self in there,
yeah,
you're not like the person on the sideline that's like blah 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 blah. There's way more. You're middle. You're mid.
I'm mid,
as our kids would say.
I'm mid
when it comes to that, right?
Right.
And your family is just one of those ones that's like, if you're not high level, I mean, it's like they don't even see you. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but that's just the way they are. All the people that I've met of their friends, they're like all the same way.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Shoot. I mean, they're all 1,000 miles an hour. And if you're not 1,000 miles an hour, they don't see you, they're not stopping.
Right.
Not to be rude, that's just the way they are. But I mean, that's why, even early on, even till now, I have a tough time even connecting with them because it's like, I'm not 1,000 miles an hour.
Right. And especially in the settings where we would see them, which is usually where, it's Thanksgiving, right? It's all of them. It's us away from our own house and a break from our own craziness.
Yeah.
So we kind of tend to bring the activity level down because we're like, we go 1,000,000 miles an hour all the time. Like, if we're going to hang out with you on vacation, we're just going to chill.
And when they come together, I think it's that thing of falling into that family thing where they're like, oh, let's get this cyclone going. Here we go. We're making a tornado.
Yes.
That's how they are.
Yes.
Right. And we're like, whoa.
What?
Okay. You guys go with your bad selves.
Right.
And it's just, it's a lot. But I say all that knowing that I think that it's right. It's a kind of the family dynamic because I like them all individually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've had one-on-one time with all of them throughout the years. Not a lot of time because we all live in different states, every one of us.
For the most part.
Or almost. Two in Colorado.
Yeah.
But one-on-one, they're all fantastic, and you can have good conversations with them.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when they're all together, I mean, it's like, I'll just go sit in the other room because
it's just
I'm not even here either way. You don't see me anyways. Yeah. I'm gonna go sit in the other room.
Yeah. You just throw the bait out there, let them.
Yeah.
Like, you just go.
So bringing that back home to us, it's interesting because that's what our kids are developing right now.
Yeah.
Is their personas at the house, right? And like when I picked up our oldest yesterday, before he could drive, maybe it was 2 days ago, he was kicking field goals at the school with some buddies, and I was just watching him from afar because he didn't have his phone on him, so I was just waving that I was there. And I could just watch him interact with them, and he kicked one from a crazy angle, and it was right off the uprights. And they're like, oh, and they're laughing. And it's just like, it's so cool. And I don't know this kid that he's hanging out with. He's not on any soccer teams. He's not one of his main friends.
Right.
But it's just somebody that he knows, and he's just hanging out there and have a good time with. It's weird.
Yeah.
And especially now that he's got the car, because they went to dinner, team dinner, and to one of the guys' houses afterwards.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane to me.
Yeah.
And what I can't wrap my head around yet is the fact that, and you and I talked about this, and I actually, For those of you who are all thinking that I'm a terrible mom, I did not actually miss our son's birthday. While I missed him driving away for the first time, which breaks my heart, absolutely. I drew the line. I was like, I'm not leaving for his birthday. Like, even though there is something going on, I need to be here. And because we were talking about birthdays, you and I was like, 16 is revolutionary. Like, every other birthday you wake up and it's like, okay, well, yeah, I'm a year older according to the calendar, but you feel the same. Like, 16, there's probably 3 birthdays, 16, 18, and 21, where you're like, something massive just changed.
Yeah.
And I struggle. I'm struggling with the fact that he's 16. Like, it's a whole lot of emotions, like I said. But we're at a point where he can leave our home at any point without us. And that, to me, is just, I can't wrap my head around that. Like, if he left our house, right, we needed a ride for him, or we had to take him somewhere. Like, he really couldn't leave. I mean, in a real way.
Yeah. This really kind of reinforces that stat, that by the time your kids, I think it was like 12.
Yeah.
You've already spent 80% of the time that you're going to spend with them.
Yeah.
In their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow. I mean, I might be slightly off on that. Do you remember what the actual...
It was something like that. It was like, but yeah, by the time they're 12, you spent 90% of the time.
I even shot it low, maybe.
I think so.
I mean, that is what I think about when I'm like, okay, well, now he's free. Because we're never going to see him again. He's not going to be in the back of the car.
Right.
I mean, I actually did take him to school this morning, which I thought was crazy.
I know. And I will still offer my services to take him anywhere, because it's just like, I will want that time.
Yeah.
To me, it's just, I don't want that time to go.
No.
And the other thing I don't want, and this is, I'm thinking about this as we're talking, I try very hard to see who our kids are when they're not at our home, and not put them in the box that I know them as their mother. I try to see gosh, who are they at school, and meet them in that place too, because you hear that your parents will always see you as one way because that's how you were in their house. And it goes back a little bit to what we were just saying, how you fall back into those same roles. And I don't want to put my kids in the same box that they were in when they were 7 years old, and the role that they played in our core unit at 5.
Yeah.
I want to see them for who they mature and become.
Right.
And that is something that I actively work on, like, every single day with them.
Yeah, I think that's important. I mean, I think every parent in a healthy relationship comes to see that as they get older, definitely in their 20s, 30s, and older.
Yeah.
Right? But in their as early as their teens, I never thought of it that early to some degree.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I try to keep true to them, I think, which is kind of the same thing that you're doing. I try not to box them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think I just never thought of it consciously like that, but I understand what you're doing, because I think I do it in my own way.
Yeah, I think you do too. It's just,
I mean, it's giving them their wings. They've got to fly in their own way.
Right.
And that's what's just crazy about him being at this age, and all these kids, growing up, some people got friends that have kids going to college and stuff, and it's really hard to think to myself that I've taught you everything I can teach you from the basics. There'll be things, sure, I hope I can. What is it? There's another saying. I'm not huge into sayings, but there was another saying. It's like, you teach them. It's something like, you teach them in their house, to teach them the ways such that when you're older, they want to come back to you for advice. There's a pretty saying.
There really is, and I can't.
I don't know what it is,
either.
but it comes. I want him to be able to come back to me when he's out of our house for the rest of his life, as long as I'm here to get my advice, because he wants it and appreciates it and believes in it.
Right. Values that.
Values it, yeah. So it's just, have we raised him right, and have we been good parents? I mean, there's just so many different.
Right.
But that's where, when you say you've been in your career for 25 years, it's hard to believe it. Well, it almost isn't, because we've got a kid driving now.
Goodness gracious.
Which I was telling the kids this morning, I was like, the only reason we have this huge SUV is because we have 3 kids. Now that Bear drives, we can downsize. I I was like, well, maybe not. He'll still go to church with us or something.
Maybe not. Yeah, no. He'll still ride with us, and there'll be times when it just makes sense.
But that might be the only place, like when we go to like church or a family movie or something like that. But he might be coming from a friend's house. But I'll meet you guys there. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, I haven't talked about it out loud, but I mean, hopefully we raised our kids in a way that they want to be around our house.
I know.
You know?
I know.
I was never home. Once I got my driver's license, I was gone. I came home to sleep.
And that was different. Like, my schedule kept me away for sure from home, but it wasn't because I could drive. Like, if I didn't have something, I was at home.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I think it, you know, you're like, we'll never see him again. And I was like, well, yeah, we will. If he's not at practice, why wouldn't he be at home? Because that's how I was.
Because he can go to the mall now. They can go do whatever they want.
Oh, good night. I'm not okay with this.
It will be interesting, though, because I was thinking, you know, we have those tracker apps and stuff like that where you can see where your kids are on them all the time, like how fast they're driving and stuff. They didn't have that, thank God, when we were kids. And I almost feel like it's too much, but
yeah, no.
Is that a helicopter? I feel like that's almost a helicopter parent thing, but at the same time, it does give me some comfort. Like last night, I looked where he was at, and I pinned the house.
Yep.
So now I know where that friend's house is.
Yep. It is a little helicopter-ish. I do think it's different, though. Like, where our kids will drive and, like, the lengths that to which they drive, like, is way further than I ever did when I was first getting my license. I was not driving 45 minutes across, you know, the DFW Metroplex, which is so busy and full. I never had to drive in rush hour like that. I mean, for the most part, I didn't do that till I was 18 and older. Between 16 and 18, I was pretty much within the bounds of the city I lived in.
Well,
in the suburb I lived in.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
My high school was 35 minutes away.
Yeah, and mine was 5.
Right.
I mean,
but I didn't have the same traffic as we have here, for sure. Like where he's got to go to Green Hill. I mean, that's insane.
That's insane.
I know, but he might. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna go to his scrimmage on Saturday, but he might drive to that.
Oh, yeah.
That means we got a free Saturday.
I'm going to scrimmage. Still gonna watch.
Depends on who the scrimmaging is. Probably like it better if we don't. So, well, all right. Well, what else do we want to talk about as we wrap up here? You got any? You traveled. Do you got any good I'm peeves?
I do.
Oh, good. What are they?
I do.
I know what one of them is again.
Oh my gosh.
You cannot get somebody that fits in the seat next
I
to you.
cannot get somebody that fits in the seat next to me. Like, are you kidding me? Like, and I'm not kidding. They're like, we are closing the forward doors. Wait, we're waiting on one passenger. And I look, and there is one seat next to me.
Literally the last passenger.
The last passenger. And the guy is 6'5", 300 pounds. And I was like, and you're sitting by a window? Like, no. Brings his own seat extender or seatbelt extender. His knees, I mean, like, he was a big guy. And I mean, I am not kidding. His right arm was in front of my left half of my chest. And I was just like, I mean, so I'm like pinned against the seat. I couldn't move. I mean, I had the worst back spasms after that. Not the worst. I've had really bad ones. But like, my back was cramping because I physically couldn't move. And I had a normal-sized, sounds weird, but I had a normal-sized man on the aisle seat. So it's not like I could, steal some of his.
Right.
He took a pivotal seat.
Right.
I just got half a seat.
I mean, we love our bigger friends because we have friends that are bigger too. But is it safe to say though, if you own your own seatbelt extender for an airplane, then you need to think through your seating arrangement.
Yes.
And be aware of the fact that you're hanging halfway over somebody else's seat. And I mean, I don't know. We talked about it a little bit because it frustrates me because you get it all the time.
All the time.
And because we fly Southwest a lot of times before they had open seating, so people could like search you out. There's a small person. Yeah. I can sit there and take up some of her seat. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you that's what was happening.
Absolutely.
They always sat next to you.
Always. This was an assigned seat.
And this was an assigned one though, so this was just bad luck. I know, but Maybe that'll change now that Southwest is assigning seats. We'll have to see.
Maybe.
We haven't done that yet. But.
Yeah. I mean, at least the guy, like, okay, this is going to sound really bad. At least he, like, smelled clean. Because I have had one who was absolutely atrocious. Like,
you can be big or small and smell atrocious.
he did, yeah. This man had major bathing issues. Not this time, but a different travel. He had major personal hygiene issues.
I laugh because it's horrible.
It was absolutely atrocious. And I learned from him that Botox actually stops excessive sweating. Yes, that is the personal hygiene issue I was having to experience. Yeah.
Yeah, because he openly
shared that with me.
Yeah.
That was before I put the headphones in.
So yeah, we've done that before. My headphones are in. That is the international sign of I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Don't tap me on my shoulder.
Don't tap me on the shoulder. Yes. Oh my gosh, that was bad. But anyway.
Well, I'm sorry, but hopefully it's cleansing for you to get it out.
It feels so much better. Yes. Yes.
You again won the hardest week.
I don't know. You didn't have it easy here.
It wasn't hard. Tuesday was a lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We made it happen.
I got it.
Maybe it was Wednesday. Either way. All right. Well, I don't know. I guess that's probably our sign off, right? Anything else?
You know what? I think
it's not slowing down. Crazy Train's not slowing down. Actually, this weekend's not bad, so that'll be good. We'll probably crash.
We will crash. Ooh, not the train. The train won't crash, but the train's gonna slow down.
Yeah, hopefully we'll slow down to a pace this weekend. Only one. We have a scrimmage Saturday and a scrimmage Sunday.
Yep.
Oh, it's an actual game. That's right. On
Yep.
Sunday, which will be a big game. We need to win that one. Get some points.
Yep.
But that's really it.
I am so looking forward to it because my brain is fried.
School track started up, so that's fun. So we're excited about that.
Yep.
I'll put up some posts on that one. Our daughter's doing her thing.
She's doing her thing.
Which is fun. Then we got we got a couple travel coming up in 2 weeks.
Lots of travel in the next 2 weeks.
Travel in the new all on the East Coast, so hopefully the snow holds off.
Hopefully it melts.
Yeah. I saw some video from New York and it looks like it was people were walking around normal there. So.
Oh, good, because it was wild.
Yeah, I saw some other video that was crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Well, let's sign it off. Sorry we were missing one there.
I know.
But thanks for coming back.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, have a great one. We will see you again next week, hopefully.
Yes.
All right.
Till then, ciao,
Till
ciao.
then, see ya.